If you have any questions, if you have any questions regarding any of the topics, you can ask me while others are joining. We are still waiting for a couple of minutes for others to join. Okay, so in the last class, we have seen inheritance. In any questions you are having in inheritance, how to extend a class? How do we extend class using extends keyword? Any questions in super keyword? We have used super for calling the base class constructor. We have used super for calling functions of the base class. We also have used super for accessing the variables of the base class. Any questions in these topics? How to achieve inheritance? What are different types of inheritance? What is extends keyword? How to use extends keyword in classes? Any questions? Yes, anybody having any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. So we can begin with a new topic, a very small topic today, abstract classes. Okay, we are going to begin with abstract classes. As the name suggests, okay, abstraction is the process. Some problem with the internet connection. Okay, so let me share my screen. As the name suggests, abstract classes, meaning it provides abstraction in Java. Okay, abstraction meaning you are hiding details from the user. Now, where do we need abstraction and why do we need abstract classes in Java? Let me explain it to you with the help of example only. Okay, are you all able to see my screen? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, say for example, we have a class A and class B is extending A. Okay. Now we also have class C that is extending A. Okay. we have single level inheritance only, where A is getting, extended in B and C individually, right? Now, there is a method. Say, for example, the method is calculate marks, okay? Void calculate marks. This method, which is, say, for example, the class name is university, okay? And this class is student class. D2D student, and we have simple student. We have two classes, okay, and they both are extending university. Okay. Now the details like, student roll number. Okay, we have integer roll number, right? We have string name. Okay, we may have a string email address, right? All these are different fields of class university students. Okay. Now this calculate marks, right? It is having its own implementation in each of the classes. What I mean to say is, calculate marks function is going to be implemented differently in D2D students and differently in students which are non-D2D students. Okay. So the way you are calculating the marks is different, right? Say, for example, you are calculating the marks in a different way, right? Then the implementation of both the bodies will be different for sure, right? But do we need this function here then? Here, do we need this function? If you're already extending this class in two different classes, D2D students and also in students, you're extending the class in two different classes, and they both of them are providing their own implementation of calculating the marks here, right? They are both these functions and both the classes are going to give different ways of calculating the marks of students which are D2D and which are non-D2D. Then do we need to give the body of this function here? Is this needed? Is this function here needed? Is there any use of this function? Can you tell me? Are you getting the scenario here? What I'm telling? What I'm telling is, you have a class, you have a main class, students, university student is the main class, and we have two separate classes, D2D students, and we have simple student as two separate classes, right? And all this information which is written inside the main class is definitely visible in these two classes, right? Because it is extendable over here. See, already these two are the subclasses of your main class, university students, right? So what I'm meaning to tell here is that this calculation of marks, it is a function that is dependent upon what type of student is enrolled in a university. If it is a D2D student, the calculation of marks is different. Okay. Also, if it is a simple student, the calculation of the marks is definitely different. Okay, I'm calculating it in a different way. If I'm already enabling both these functions over here, if I'm extending the class, if I'm enabling both the functions over here, then do we need to provide the body of this function here? That is my question. Is this function meaningful here? Hello, are you able to see my screen?
Maybe no, because both have different calculation.
Yes, exactly, right. Both are having their own individual bodies. We need not to provide a body of this here, right? There is no need, correct? Yes, correct. There is no point in providing the body of calculate marks here because it is dependent on each of the student class differently, right? But this is just the main class, right? We don't need to provide implementation of such kind of methods here, right? As and when you feel that there is no point in declaring the body of the method here in a class, you can declare that function as abstract function. Okay, abstract functions or methods are the functions which only have head. They don't have body. They will not have body inside it. Meaning, this is the header of the function. This is the body of the function. If I am abstracting the body out of the method, if I am hiding the implementation out of the method, then this method is becoming the abstract method. Are you getting what I am telling here? Wherever you feel that you don't need to provide implementation of a certain method over there, however, whichever class can extend the class, whichever class is extending our class, our main class, right? Or whichever class is applying in easy relationship, or whichever class is actually being the subclass of our class, can define the body of this method differently according to that class's need. Then in the main class, I don't need to give the body of this particular function. We can keep this abstract, meaning we can apply abstraction over here, meaning we can hide the details over here. We can hide the functionality over here. Whoever wants to provide implementation of this function can extend the class and can provide its body. We can hide this complete body and those kind of methods where the body of the function doesn't exist. We only have the header of the function, or we only have the signature of the function. That kind of functions are known as abstract methods or abstract functions. Are you getting what I'm telling here? Hello?
Ma'am, but using two methods at two different places, there won't be problem of method overriding.
No, it is not a problem, it is a solution. I'm coming to that point. But are you getting what is the use of first abstract function? If you understand the use, then we can get, okay, then we can get on to how to use it, okay? Wherever you feel you don't wish to provide the body of this function, you can declare this function as abstract. Now, how to do that I'm showing it to you. And the overriding problem, it is not a problem, it is a solution actually. That also I'm showing it to you. But if you want to keep a function abstract, you just add the abstract keyword in front of it. If you add the keyword abstract in front of it, this function doesn't require body. So it is written also over here. Abstract methods, they don't have body, right? So I can remove the complete body from here. And as I'm not specifying in a body over here, I can put semicolon here at the end of the statement to mention that this function is going to have its body to whoever class it is subclassing the main class to. Meaning, if this class is subclassing this class, the main class, then automatically the body is going to be provided for this method differently for each of the classes that extend the class. Meaning I'm just declaring that there must be something known as calculator marks in my class, but now whichever class wants to have the relationship with us, they can definitely give the body of that function. I'm not declaring it as abstract here. Why? Because I am actually providing the implementation of this function in this class. See, I'm giving the body. It is in a subclass relationship, right? So whichever class that provides relationship or that is in relationship with our main class, it can give its own body for that particular function. Now calculate mark is going to have a different implementation for D2D students and a different implementation for students also. But they both are overridden methods. Coming to your point now, see, it is an overridden method. Can you see it? It is nothing but an overridden method, the same method with same signature with its own body. Getting it? I can also add an annotation over here known as override. Override annotation. Annotation means you are marking it's just for your information only, just for systems information also, that this method is being overridden by which class? Overridden by your superclass, nothing but university students. Are you getting it? It is showing here also. See, it is showing here that implements method from university students. Can you see this? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are able to see this. What is calculate mark? It is nothing but the implementation of this abstract method. Same here also. This also, another class also, I can provide the override annotation and I can make the system understand that no, it is not its own personalized function. No, it is nothing but the overridden method of a university student class. Are you getting this? What we are doing here? First thing, abstract function. Are you clear how to create abstract function? What is the use of it? If the function is abstract, then in whichever class the function is abstract, its subclass should provide its implementation for sure. What I am telling is, if you have hundreds of methods here, if you have one more abstract method here, say abstract void print, if you have one more abstract method here, unless and until you don't provide the body of it, this function is not usable, right? If you provide the body of print method, you need to give it in the same signature. If you write here integer print, it is not overridden. Overridden means it has to have same signature. This is not overridden. See, It is void print, it is integer print. Both are different. It has to return something, right? Right, return, say for example, 1. It is not overridden method, right? If the method is overridden, it means it has to provide the same syntax over here, same signature over here, right? So overridden methods, if you want to provide overriding over here, there is no problem. See, here also I can override calculate marks. Here also I can override calculate marks. There is no problem over here. Right? Every function is going to have its own implementation dependent on whichever class you are using that function in. That is the first thing. Another thing is, if you are qualifying functions which are abstract in here, then the class name should be given abstract qualifier. You can see the error over here. The error is saying that university students is not abstract and does not override. That is fine, okay. But the problem, I'll undo this. It is not overriding, so it is showing the error. Okay. Now you see the error. The error over here is that it is not abstract, okay. Meaning it cannot have abstract functions unless and until the class itself is declared as abstract. Meaning abstract functions can only reside in abstract classes. If the class is not abstract, then you cannot create abstract functions. Are you getting it? For a function to be abstract, if you want to create a function who is having its own body in different classes, wherever you are using subclass property, it is okay. You can create abstract functions, but these functions should be residing in a class who is nothing but abstract. So abstract classes can have abstract functions. Apart from abstract functions also, abstract classes can have non-abstract functions also. It can have both the type of functions, okay? Abstract classes can have both the types of functions. Meaning abstract classes, they are not 100% abstract. Why they are not 100% abstract? Because you can add here abstract method, plus you can add here non-abstract method also. But we'll be coming to interfaces later on. Interfaces are nothing but 100% abstract classes. Meaning interfaces can never have non-abstract method. Interfaces should have 100% compulsorily abstract methods only. Are you getting what I'm telling here? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, are you getting what Srinara and are you understanding? Okay, good. Panjwani, what about you? Dhruvi? Divya? Are you getting what we are doing here?
Yes, ma'am, getting.
Yes, Girish, what about you? Girish, are you there? Okay, no problem. Yes. Okay, so what I'm telling is abstract class is a combination of abstract plus non-abstract method. If the methods are non-abstract, meaning the subclass will have to provide its own implementation for sure. If the methods are non-abstract, it is okay. If you want to override, it is okay. If you don't want to override, that is also okay. But if you are giving the abstract function, for sure, the subclass has to give its implementation for sure. The meaning, the reason it is became abstract is that only whichever class is coming to us for applying the subclass property, that class will have its own private and personal implementation for that particular function. There is no need of mentioning body over here. It means whoever is subclassing our class, whoever is making our class a superclass, this class will have to give its own implementation for this particular method. Hence, the method is named as abstract method. To create abstract method, we provide abstract keyword in front of the method declaration. That is first thing. Second thing, we give the body of its own body using the override annotation in the subclass. And third thing, if the class is simple class, it can never have abstract function. It can only have simple function like this, right? It can only have simple function. But if the class is having abstract function, even if it is one simple abstract function, then also the class should be qualified as abstract. This much we have done. Are you having any questions so far? Okay. Oh, is it like that? Am I clearly audible to you, Vidhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Girish, then there must be some issue with your internet connectivity. You can leave the session and rejoin back again. That is okay. Yes. Okay. Now I'm giving you one example. You will see the applications better if you see this example. This is actually you only have to perform. Okay, I'm showing you one figure. I'm showing you. Yes, I'm writing a question over here. You will also understand why we are creating abstract method here itself if you understand this. Okay, so what we are going to create? We are going to create abstract class today, and the abstract class name is shape. Okay, this is nothing but abstract class. So it can have abstract plus non-abstract, both the kinds of methods this class can have. Okay, shape is the class. Now shapes are going to have dimensions, right? It is going to have some length, some breadth to it, right? So I am naming it as dimension 1. I am creating two variables, dimension 2. Okay. And secondly, in this class, I am creating functions. The first function is void, read the dimensions. For inputting the value of dimension 1 and dimension 2. Second, void, calculate the area of that shape. Calculate area, right? Now, if you think about it, if shape is the abstract class, then the calculate area function will be different for different shapes, right? If we are talking about triangle, the area formula will be different. If you're talking about a cylinder, the area formula will be different for cylinder, right? Are you getting the application of this abstract class? Abstract functions also. Are you getting this? If you're talking about a sphere or a circle, again the area formula is going to change, right? If you're talking about a pentagon, again same thing, the hexagon, anything. For any shape that you are applying this, you are subclassing this shape class, every class is going to have its different calculate area function, right? The body implementation of this will be different in every single class. Are you getting the question? Are you getting the concept here?
Yes, ma'am.
So what you need to do is you need to create a shape abstract class, okay, and create both the methods abstract. The reason I'm telling you to create abstract is that because in some of the cases, like say for example in circle itself, you don't need dimension 1. Circle area can be found just by including dimension 1 only. We don't need dimension 2 also for inputting the radius, right? Only radius is required in calculating the area of the circle, so we don't need another dimension over here. So again, this also method you can keep it as abstract. Okay, create both the methods abstract, and according to the implementation, give their own body. But you need to subclass it for sure with the abstract class. Okay, so create a class circle that extends shape, class triangle extends shape, cylinder extends shape. Okay, however classes you want to create, you can create for sure. But both the functions are here abstract. Try this example. You will understand it better if you do it on your own. What is abstract class? Create a function which is abstract without making the class is abstract. If the class is not abstract, but if the function is abstract, check what is the error. Then again change the class definition. Okay, do it accordingly. Create a class shape first of all, and then try to implement this two variables and two functions. That's it. Only two things we are using here, and the subclass is going to acquire the property of your abstract class shape, and then we can see how to run this. Okay, try to create the abstract class first. Yes, anybody having any questions? Okay, Girish, okay, that is fine. Okay, anybody having any question in how to create abstract function? What is abstract function? How to create them? What is abstract class? Why do we need it? And another thing is, yes, how to extend this? What is override annotation? How do we override the functions in inheritance? This much we have seen so far. If you have any questions, you can raise your questions. Otherwise, you can start implementing this small scenario. It is going to explain you in a better way if you do it on your own again. once you're done, let me know. I'll help you out with other implementations also. Just try to create first the abstract class, that's all. If you're not able to do, you can see it on my screen. If you're not understanding, you can obviously see here, I'm creating it the same way for you. Also check whenever you are trying to give body to an abstract method, what error it is showing. It is showing some error. See, abstract methods cannot have body. So even if you try to give body of the abstract method, it is going to show definitely some error. So also check abstract methods will never have body inside it. Okay. Also check that thing. Again, okay, you can do it. Otherwise, the read dimensions method, void read, actually you can keep it non-abstract if you want, because read is going to be a function, it is going to be same for all the classes. Even if you want to keep it abstract, it is okay. If you don't want to keep it abstract, then it is okay. Whatever you feel, right, that is fine. Yes, the internet was off. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Okay, fine. You can work on it. You work on it individually. Yes, that is fine. But work on it individually. Otherwise, you can see my screen. If you're not understanding anything, you can see here. Otherwise, you work on it individually. Okay. Try to work on the question alone. It is very simple, very easy question. Area of cube, area of uniform length. Is anybody able to do the question? Maybe are you trying?
Yes, ma'am, but I'm confused that whether class circle should be inside shape or outside shape.
Oh, that is inner classes that you're talking about. No, we are doing inheritance. Inheritance will not require inner classes. two individual classes having a relationship is inheritance.
Ma'am, then we need to pass parameters in the function.
Okay, share your screen with me. Let me see.
Ma'am, I haven't done anything, like I'm just doing it.
Oh, okay. You don't require parameters. See, like this, it is inherited, no? See, are you able to see my screen?
Ma'am, but without inheriting, how can I get the parameters?
Yes, inheritance is required. So see, I'm extending your shape. Are you able to see my screen first?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. See, I'm inheriting shape here, right? And it is having two variables, dimension one, dimension two. So whatever is the shape class is having, whatever body it is having, it is completely visible in the cube class, right? So I can simply pass, and I can read it from user also. I can input the value from user also, right? So
Ma'am, but it says that circle is not abstract and does not override abstract method area in shape.
it will happen. It will happen. See my screen. The same error I'm happening. See my screen. The
Yes,
reason
ma'am.
it's going like this is if there are multiple abstract methods, no, then you need to implementation of all the abstract methods. So finish it first, then the error will be automatically gone. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Finish implementation of it. Don't worry. Yes. Because when you are writing one method, other method is still pending, no, in the queue. So it is going to show the error. That is okay. Finish writing and then you will see the errors gone. Try it once. Yes, anybody else who is trying this question? Divya, are you trying this question? Panjwani? Srinarayan, are you trying this question? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. Let me know if you're not able to, if you're able to get any errors, it is a good sign. Show it to me if there are any errors, okay? If anybody who is facing any issues or not able to, they can see my screen. Yes, Vidhi, now are you getting any errors?
No, ma'am.
Then no?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Now, did you try to create object of that class? Object of the abstract class?
No, ma'am. I'm creating.
Okay. Yes, try to create. It should be showing you some error. If it is an error, it is always a good sign. Yes, is it showing any error now?
Yes, ma'am. It says shape is abstract, cannot be initiated.
Instantiated. Yes, correct. You are right. Okay. See, students, you have to see here on my screen now. See, abstract class cannot be instantiated. The reason its instance or object cannot be created is abstract class can have abstract methods and they are having no body inside it. So if you create the object of this class and if you call this function, then what implementation the object is going to have? That is the reason abstract class cannot have instance, meaning you cannot create object of abstract class. If you try to create object of abstract class, you see the reason the class is abstract is because it is having one of the method as abstract, right? Abstract class, the reason it is qualified as abstract is because any one of the method, if there are greater than one number of methods in the class which are abstract, then only the class is qualified as abstract. Okay, mind well. Abstract class, if this method that you are creating here, right, if it is not abstract, if the method that you are creating here, if it is not abstract, then the class can never be abstract, right? If the reason the class is abstract is you don't want to give implementation of certain methods, right? So what we are doing here, we don't want to provide body of this method. Hence, we are creating this method as abstract method. And if the method is abstract method, then you cannot provide the body of it. If you're not giving the body inside this method, then how the object of this class can execute the body if the body is not mentioned here? Because it is nothing but it is a superclass. Subclasses object can access superclasses variables and functions, but superclasses variables objects can never access subclasses variables and functions. Are you getting what I'm telling you? If you are in a relationship with a certain class, okay, you are extending A in class B, then B is going to acquire property of A plus property of B. So B's object can access A's functions and B's functions both, but reverse is not possible. A's object can never access B's function because it is not in relationship with B. B is in relationship with A, right? So even if the A is the superclass of B, A can never access A's object can never access B's functions. But B's functions can be definitely accessed by B and A's functions can also be accessed by the object of class B because B is extending A. So it is superclass for A. A is a superclass for class B, right? But for A is not a subclass for any of the classes. So A cannot access B's functions with its own object, okay? Same thing here also. If the class is qualified as abstract, if your class shape is qualified as abstract, right? Meaning it is going to have abstract method inside it, which is not having its own body. So now whichever class is going to inherit that class, say triangle is inheriting this shape, okay? Then triangle's object can access triangle's property, triangle's object can also access shape's property. But shape's object is not possible. Shape, if it is an abstract class, then creation of the object is not possible because the methods could be abstract here. If the methods are abstract, then its body is not available. Then how will you call this function? If you are having function fun in shape class, okay, which is abstract class, with the object, how will you access this function if there is no body inside it? That is the reason abstract class can never be instantiated. Meaning abstract class can never have its own object. Are you getting what I'm telling you? The reason why it cannot be instantiated, are you getting the reason for it?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others? Others are still nodding in the class, they're sleeping in the class. Girish, Isha, Dhruvi, are you able to understand what I'm telling you? Srinarayan, Darshan? Yes, okay. Yes, anybody who is having any questions so far? The reason abstract class cannot be instantiated is there is no body of their methods. With the object, you will always access the functions, right? If the function is not having any body, with which body it is going to run the program? So it is not able to create the object of abstract class. But mind well, you cannot create object of abstract class. However, we can always create reference variable of abstract class. Now, if you remember, reference variable versus objects, this we have seen already. In the initial classes, we have seen what is a reference variable, what is an object. Object is something that is going to acquire memory in the heap portion. But reference variable is just another variable of that class type. It is not occupying any memory. It is linked to your object. It is linked to your object in the heap space. It is pointing to the address of the object in the heap space. It is reference variable. It is referring to the memory address of your object in the heap space. But it is not actually the object. Object is here in the heap space. But variable is always in the stack. And this variable is going to acquire the memory address of your heap allocation in the memory. If you are creating integer I, then I is going to have its own memory, right? That memory location of I. Similarly, this reference variable is nothing but the memory location of the object in the heap space. So here for abstract class, you can create reference variable, but you can never create object. You cannot allocate memory for this class. See how I'm doing this. If I want to access all these functions of your subclasses, how will I do this? See, I'll create the object I'll create the reference of shape class. Okay, I'm creating the reference variable of shape class, but I cannot create the object of shape class because it's an abstract class, so we cannot create the object. But you cannot create the instance, but you can still create the reference variable, right? So I'm going to point this reference variable to class cube. See, this I have told you before. Initially, also in inheritance, I have told you before. You can definitely create the object of different class. Object is different, reference variable is different. You with the superclass's reference, you can always refer to the subclass. I'm referring to the subclass here, right? But the reference is of superclass. So now if I call the function calculate area, it is definitely going to call the area of cube itself. Because in the memory, this reference variable is pointing towards the object of cube class. Though the reference variable is of type shape, that is okay, but this reference variable ref is pointing to the object of class cube, which is having all the properties and functions of class cube. So calculate area is the property of class cube. So this reference variable is, even though it is pointing to the object of class cube, it is going to call the calculate area of class cube only, not of class shape. Because in shape, this method doesn't exist at all. That is the reason you cannot create the object of abstract class. A reference can definitely be created, but that reference again, you need to point to another object. To which object it can point to? Only to the subclass's object, okay? I cannot create another class and I cannot refer it to some other class XYZ or ABC if they are not in inheritance relationship. Even only and only if your abstract class is in relationship with cube class, then and then only shape as reference can point to your cube reference only if they are in inheritance. If they are not in inheritance, this relationship is not possible. This statement will still give you an error, okay? The reason it is allowed is reference variable of shape class can be created, but object cannot be created. Object can be only created of the subclasses that in which you are extending reference to, extending shape into which class, only for that class only you can create the object of that class. So currently it is going to call calculate area of cube class for sure. Okay, but before calling this, I have to also call read dimensions function. So before calling the calculate area, I am calling refer dot read dimension, and then I am calculating area. So it is going to print area with 10 as dimensions value, right? Let us see the output. See, it is calculating 600 only. It is correct. Why? See here. It is 6 into 10 into 10. 10 is nothing but the value of dimension, right? So it is calculating it correctly. Now, the same reference, I can make it point to new triangle. I can make this reference again. Now I am making it point to the another subclass triangle, okay? So now it is pointing towards triangle. Initially it was pointing towards cube. Now I am changing it to another heap space into triangle, okay? This link is broken now. It is pointing towards triangle's class. Now if I want to access this reference dot read dimension, this is going to be the function of triangle class, reference dot calculate area. Again, the function of triangle class only. See, let us run and check. They both are going to print differently. Area of triangle. See here, triangle, we don't need another. We have one more parameter here. For cube, we don't need another parameter. Here we have dimension 1, dimension 2, both. Here we only have dimension 1 and we have called this function. So it is printing here 25. Are you getting this? What we are doing here? Yes. Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anybody else who is not getting the difference between reference variable and object, you can tell me. I am making the reference point to object of the subclass. Again, object of the subclass. Okay. And this reference is always of the superclass. And the superclass is currently abstract, so we cannot create object of this class. Hence, I'm creating the object of the required subclasses. And I'm calling the methods dynamically. There is the topic known as dynamic method dispatch. Okay, dynamic method dispatch, which means that dispatch, yes, which means that whatever reference that you are using, according to this reference, to which heap memory you are pointing to. I'm currently pointing to cube. Okay, so it is going to dynamically runtime allocate this memory. Objects are always created during runtime. Okay, variables always during the compilation time. Objects always get memory in the runtime only. So I'm creating the object of this at runtime. I'm making the reference point to this object at runtime, and all these functions are getting called runtime. It is runtime method dispatch or dynamic method dispatch. That is why it is known as DMD or dynamic method dispatch. Always this linkage is happening at runtime because object will not be created until runtime. So this linkage is also happening at runtime only. That is the reason it is known as dynamic method dispatch or runtime method dispatch. Or it is also known as polymorphism, runtime polymorphism. Why? Because one object, right? You are with one object, with one reference only, you can point this reference to multiple number of objects. Okay, if you have one more class over here, if you have one more class, such as sphere here, right? Then again, you can make this sphere point to your reference. You can make your reference point to sphere also, right? So it is known as runtime polymorphism. You are achieving the polymorphism at runtime. You are creating the object at runtime. It is linking this reference variable with this object at runtime only, and this is known as runtime polymorphism. One reference variable, multiple objects. Are you getting what is runtime polymorphism? Are you getting this concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anybody having any questions in this? The reason, see, it is still showing me error. Why? Have I described the method? No, it is not. If you are creating the abstract function, unless and until you are not giving the body of it, the class is not complete. So it is still showing me error because I haven't given the body of calculate area yet, right? So I need to give the body of calculate area here. If I give the body of this function, then only the definition is complete. And one more function is read dimensions, right? I have to give the body of these functions in order for the abstraction to achieve properly. Getting it? And then we can call reference dot read dimensions, and then we can call reference dot calculate area. According to which object you are currently pointing to, the reference is going to change at runtime, because this call is not resolved till runtime. Till runtime, this call is not resolved. It is also known as dynamic binding also. Okay, dynamic binding. All these under synonym only. Binding. The reference is binding to the object at runtime. So based on whichever object the reference is pointing to, the functions are called accordingly. It is known as runtime polymorphism. One reference, multiple objects. You can refer to multiple objects. That is the reason it is known as runtime polymorphism. Okay, and anybody having any questions in what is abstract class? What are abstract functions? What abstract class can have? Okay, it can have variables. It can have functions also. It can have functions which are abstract and non-abstract both. Okay, and whichever class is going to have the relationship between this class means whichever class can extend your abstract class will have to provide its own implementation for that function. Okay, if it is not providing implementation, it is still an error because you need to give body of that function which is abstract for that particular class. It is one thing. Another thing, for abstract class, you can never create the object because the functions, they don't have body. If you create the object, which function it will call, it doesn't know. So we don't have body of the function, we cannot create object of that class. That is another thing. Third thing is, if you want to create object of abstract class, you cannot create, but you can always create the reference variable like this, and you can always bind the reference variable with the respective classes that you want to have in relationship with. Meaning, if it is not a subclass, you cannot make it point to the object of that class. Okay, it has to have a subclass relationship in order for reference variable to point to its subclass, object of the subclass. Yes, any questions so far? Anybody having any questions in what is abstract class, how to create them, what are abstract methods, how to access them, how to give body of them, how to create reference variable, why cannot we can create object of this class? Any questions so far?
I have one question, madam.
Yes, Prima, yes.
How to access it, madam?
How to?
Access it, ma'am.
Using the reference variable.
Yes, I am.
See, using the reference variable like this, Prima. See, I'm creating the reference variable of the shape class here. I'm making it point. See, you cannot create the object of shape class for sure, right? If I create the object, it is going to show me an error. Because the body of these functions are not there. The body of this function, the body of this abstract function is not there. So even if you create the object, you cannot access that body. So the object is not creatable for shape class. Okay. If you cannot create the object of shape class, then how we can use it? How to use this reference variable? If it is an object, it can allocate the memory at runtime. Okay, we know already. If you cannot create the object of the superclass, you can make the subclass point to the superclass's reference variable like this. See, I am accessing the functions already here. See, using the reference variable, right? It is nothing but kind of an object only. But this OB object is actually object of cube class. The reference variable is of class shape, but this reference variable is pointing to the memory allocation of the cube class. Meaning, OB is pointing to the location of cube class's object, okay, in your heap memory. And this objects are created at runtime, of course. So when the program is running at runtime only, the memory gets allocated for the particular object, not at compile time. Whenever the memory gets allocated for the object at runtime the decision is taken that OB is pointing to which object? Oh, it is pointing to cube object. Okay. So now let us call the functions of cube object. Getting it? You can access using object itself, but this object is getting pointed to this object, this memory allocation at runtime, not at compile time. And hence it is known as runtime polymorphism, or it is also known as dynamic binding. Are you getting this now?
Yes, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody having any questions? Mohammed, are you getting this? Srinarayan, Tushar, Harshvardhan, Divya, Bharti, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, I'll take the attendance and then you all can leave, no issues. Yeah, okay, fine. Number of people present who are less. Okay, you can speak your enrollment number and then you can leave. One by one, you can speak your numbers and then you can leave in the sequence, ascending order. Whoever comes first, they can speak your roll number and then you can leave.
BD 02.
02. Okay, Manav, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anybody else in BD?
BD5, ma'am.
BD5, yes. Yes, anybody else? Okay, AI?
Ma'am, Smith 1.
Smith Kumar, yes. 2, Devansh, yes.
I'm AI 6.
6, Tushar, yes.
Ma'am, AI
Randomly we
58.
have to speak the number.
What is the number?
Randomly we have to speak.
No, sequentially, so I can put the here absent present. Yes. After AI is 6, Tushar, who is there? Ayush is there, right? Harshvardhan?
Ma'am, AI 21.
Yes, 21.
Ayush present, AI 17.
Yes, Harshvardhan is also there. Okay, fine. After Bharti, who is there? After 21?
Ma'am, 27.
AI 28.
Yes, 27 is present. 28 is present. Okay.
28. ma'am.
Yes. Done.
Ma'am, 31.
31, yes. And
Ma'am, 39.
yes,
40.
35, yes.
Ma'am, 29.
29, I have marked you present. Yeah.
40.
40 is there, okay.
45.
45,
47.
Ma'am, 46.
46, okay. 49, right? 48, okay. Yes, who else?
Ma'am, AI
68, ma'am.
58.
68.
Girish, ma'am. AI 58.
Yes, 58, right?
AI 57.
Nikita is there, okay.
Ma'am, Ma'am, 56. AI 69.
68, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
68,
67.
yes.
Ma'am, 69 also.
64, madam. Yeah.
Yeah. 69 present, you can leave the session, no problem. Girish, you're also
Yeah,
marked.
64.
Yeah. Yes. Shri,
Ma'am,
you are also.
67.
Yeah. 57, you also.
Yeah, I
Pima,
came,
you-
madam.
yeah. Yes, Pima, marked as present, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, 64.
Ma'am, 67.
67. What is your name? I'm not able to find you here. 67. Yes. Yeah, marked as present.
Ma'am, big data 3 also mentioned in the chat.
BD3. Yes, Anuj. Yeah.
Ma'am, big data 13.
Big data 13. Yes, Mohammed, I have marked you as present.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Then, yes.
Ma'am, AI 03.
AI 03. Divyajit.
No, ma'am, Vaishali. D2D.
Okay, D2D. Yes. Yes. Mark you as present. Harshvardhan, you also, you can leave the session. આ લોકો હવે એવું કરે છે કે રેકોર્ડિંગ પેલા બંધ કરવાનું, સ્ટોપ રેકોર્ડિંગ.